We're here.
Hey everyone, it's Michael and
Matt.
and
Ruben.
for the first time in ages.
Like
At
a
least it
month.
feels like it.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ruben, I'm blowing your ears out.
No, it's all right. Your mic was off for a second, but you're back with us now.
We're back,
People
are we?
get the energy. They know what the intro is.
Yeah.
They know who he is.
Feels like months since we've all been in the same room together.
It
This
almost
is
has
weird.
been.
It's kind of like riding a bike.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can get through it.
Well, with all the planning that we did today for today's live stream,
So much.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one.
I don't even know which camera I'm meant to be looking at.
Yeah.
Which one's a
We're
primary,
down to
which is a
two.
secondary?
Almost six
Yeah,
or
so it's
seven.
It's on the main one there, and then if I go close up, swap to that one. Yeah, it's
Apparently
all
one
right.
of them's still up at bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder how that happened.
Sent you with a camera, and it hasn't come back. I think I need to start writing our name on it or something just to stop you. Yeah, I don't know.
Oops.
It's good to have you back. We don't have to deal with the delay. The delay of having the video
delay?
chat or whatever, so it's
Yeah.
good. And
You
yeah,
just have to deal with the mental delay now.
Yeah, well, there's a bit of that going around. I haven't even logged in.
Oh,
I'm that
get with
far
it. Oh, me neither. Hang on here.
I bet I've got my volume up, so you guys are all going to get a blast in a minute.
Yeah, I need to do a few things as well.
and it took people about 2 seconds there, Matt, to point out you don't have your glasses today.
Said that to Ruben. It's going to be the number one comment. Matt doesn't have glasses.
Well, are we on contacts today or just left them at home?
Nah, I just left it at home like an absolute goose. I was too excited about coming in, getting the band back together for a stream. Completely forgot. It's been walking into walls and the whole bit. It's been good.
We kicked things off with a stream.
With a
With
poll.
the stream.
With a
Yeah,
stream.
come
with a
on.
poll.
Yeah, talk about
Oh,
delays.
Kicking things off with a poll about the new dragon that we released this week. Got a picture of that one there, looking good.
Yeah, that's
and
cool.
it
What do
looks
you
like
think, Matt?
Oh, I was deliberating with Ruben this morning and I was looking specifically at images of the silver one and my comment was it looks a little busy, but I'd like a distinction between the dragon and the background design, which this clearly has. So the silver, I'll hold on to hope that there's a similar finish on the dragon, whereas the background's a little more matted, because in the images I thought this has the potential to get a little busy. And I realise again and apologise to the designer if they did this on my advice, because I'm forever whinging that I want to see more
In the
going on.
background.
And now I thought, we're really walking the line. It's a fine line between too busy and cluttered and just right. But I think the designer Wade has walked that line very well in this instance.
I really like the design. I think it's a winner.
Yep.
I'm really
Pick of
happy
the
with
bunch though.
it. No, it's probably not my favourite. But it's certainly right up there. I think they've done well.
Yep.
I really don't have much criticism of this one at all, except for the fact that they won't produce it in a
A 10
5
ounce or a
10
kilo.
ounce
Yeah.
or a kilo.
there
Yeah.
was some positive comments. People saying that they thought that would be a great idea. Goat has kind of been, I think, the forerunner of not being a fan of the legs of this one. Though I think that's been their issue with a couple of the dragon designs recently. But they almost, and I can actually kind of see it. To me, it almost feels very sea serpent-esque, and then they've added the.
Put it up again, Ruben. What's
What's
the issue? We're getting bogged down in the wrong details here. That looks like a dragon.
But that's a very Asian-esque, I would say. The very white guy in the room would say that is a very Asian-esque depiction
absolutely.
of a dragon.
Yeah.
Complete with legs. They don't have those big, chunky legs and chunky body that a European dragon has. They're always these kind of more...
I think it's to do about the actual where they're placed as well. Like they're not side, but they're kind of.
I mean, the thing's a serpent. This thing's a snake. It's all over
Yeah.
the shop.
It also flies. Like we're not talking about you can't see these at Australia Zoo.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So I have less issue with it.
This would be a good one if you could speak to Wade again and say, because obviously they use reference material and things like that. So I'm assuming he didn't just shoot from the hip with the placement here. He would have actually referred to
A real life photo of a
illustrations
dragon.
and gone to the zoo and seen a dragon.
Do you remember the interview I did with him, like in the live stream about it?
Yeah, no, well, vaguely I got muted and then cut. I was devastated. I was all fired up and then...
His opinion is not another flaming dragon.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Jeez. Oh,
It's not quite word for
yeah,
word, but it was
I was
basically
going to
what he
say,
said.
you've probably paraphrased. Oh, well, for what it's worth, I think he's done a good job.
There's a couple of comments there about people really liking it, but wanting it done in a smaller size now with the price of gold being where it is. So Stephen's saying there, I've started looking at the half ounce, and delete my account saying would love a 2.5 gram gold version. Gold price is pretty high right now.
Head in if we have to get 2.5s in. He will not allow me to buy 2.5 pamps.
Really? Why?
Because I don't know, it bends
Scares
his brain or something.
Oh, get with it, mate.
Yeah.
But I do think it very much is reaching that stage. I mean, someone was coming to me on the fact we're getting very close with premium to that kind of like $4,000 mark for a 1 ounce gold coin now.
Yeah, but I don't know. This comes back to the is it currency or not?
Huh?
Well,
is
it's
gold currency. If you expect gold to do what it's going to do and what we all believe it does and what it's done for the last 5,000 years, it's always going to be worth more fiat currency every year. Not exactly every year it goes like this, but over time, every year it's going to become dearer. That's what it is. So should we be breaking it down to smaller chunks?
Yeah, so are we on the horizon of the half ounce becoming the new 1 ounce? The new sweet spot.
You almost you mentioned this actually, Michael, on the video we did with the 5 ounce Scorpion. You were talking about the fact that actually it had kind of filled that spot for the 10 ounce for Perth Mint for that similar kind of reason. Price had kind of moved and the 10 ounce was no longer around, but the 5 ounce had kind of filled its spot.
Yeah.
And I wonder if something similar will happen with gold, where an ounce starts to become semi-unobtainable for the average stacker, just because of cost of living, versus how much they're actually getting paid, things like that. Wages and things like that aren't keeping up with the rate that gold has been going up lately.
But it should.
It should,
because that's that's the elasticity of fiat currencies compared to gold. It should always be a similar percentage. Well, probably not. I'm actually wrong with that. Probably not so much fiat currency, but with what you can buy with fiat currency. So you still should have the same amount of ounces of gold buying what you can, buy for that equivalent. Moving on. So X number of ounces should still equal a house in your area. X number of ounces should equal a car still. X number of ounces should still equal a bottle of milk and a litre of fuel sort of thing.
Someone should do a video on that.
Again.
Go on, Ruben. Put the link up. That's a good segue. Now I've just forced through. Ruben was getting relaxed. Now he has to dig around the archives for the for the old video.
Shameless plug. This is where you slide into the unallocated program.
Yeah.
So you buy yourself a 1/10 of an ounce or a couple of grams every week, every month, every so often, and then build yourself up so you can buy the 1 ounce still. And that's kind of the way to do it.
Do we think that there is potential, and this is looking to down the track to the future? Do you think there will come a time where the half ounce conceivably falls into the 1 ounce slot as the primary?
Looking so youthful in that video, Michael.
A lot skinnier too. Let's not go there. Did you just say that on screen?
No.
I was just
but I did put the link to it, so people can go and see it.
Little blast from the past.
Mortified stacker, stay tuned. We've got more information on that later. But I absolutely do, but I don't think it's so... I think it's more to do with the reporting levels than it is to do with the cost of gold itself. So the cost of gold is obviously driving the price up, but we see this. Like when, you go back 5 years ago, you could buy a 2.5 ounce bar under $5,000.
Yeah.
Now, you can't anymore. Now, it went to 2 ounce. Then it went to 50 gram. And it wasn't that long ago that a 50 gram bar was kind of teetering on that $5,000 mark. Now it's obviously well over it. But it was kind of teetering above and below. And it was killing us because we'd sell out of 50 gram bars, and we'd order in a whole stack more because everyone wanted 50 gram bars because they were $4,995.
Yeah.
And when they all arrived, the price would go to $5,010, and so no one wanted a 50 gram bar. So we had all these 50 gram bars, and no one wanted them. And then one day it dropped to that $4,995, and everyone wanted a 50 gram bar again, and we'd run out. And we played this seesaw game for months, and mate, it was doing our heads in. And we're now at the tail is the most popular because it's 37.5 grams.
Yep.
And we're selling
We've seen
those
a
hand over
lot-
fist.
Yeah, a lot of people chasing those at the moment.
We can't get them because, again, they're under that $5,000 mark.
Yeah.
And soon they will fall. If gold keeps doing what it's doing, that will fall off the perch and we'll go to the 1 ounce. And then we'll probably go to a 20 grammer because we're already seeing the 20 grammer was the orphan of the minted bar world.
Yeah.
Like we didn't used to sell. You always had them in stock, but you very rarely sold a 20 because people would say, "I'd rather buy 2 10s than save a couple of bucks and buy a 20."
Yep.
Or I'd rather buy a 50 than 2 20s and all this sort of
I'm
stuff.
close
that
enough
dance
to an
around.
ounce, so yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Whereas now we're seeing more and more interest in that 20 gram bar, and we're selling quite a lot of those.
Yep.
And I think that's what we're going to see is this. It's kind of like a bell curve almost, or a wave shape, where you kind of see the most popular at the top, but the others are starting to build interest as we go through time.
Do you think, and this is an absolutely subjective one, do you think in that instance, as we do start to see the potential for the 1 ounce to creep up further and further, we talk about looking at smaller sizes, but do you think that there will be more of an interest in silver?
Yeah, look, we see that anyway. When you see a sudden movement, particularly if it crosses a threshold like 3,000 in Australian dollars, 3,000 or 3,500, same thing in USD, people go, oh, gold's too expensive for me now.
Yeah.
I'm going to poor man's gold, silver. We see a little bit of flow on these days to platinum and palladium as well, but particularly into silver, you see people go, no, that's it. I'm just, I'm going to go back to buying kilos of silver, because they're only $1,500 a pop now.
Yep.
And they do that for a while, and then they realise how much of a pain in the neck silver is to
Or a
store.
pain in the lower back.
And then they start shuffling back towards the gold again. But there's an interesting comment in there about the US.
A lot of bullion dealers in America, saying that premiums are dropping fast on gold.
I would push back on that slightly in that I don't think the premiums are dropping. Okay, so I'm coming across kind of contradicting myself, but a lot of the premiums are actually dropping because the other sizes are becoming more economically viable to make, because it comes down to the number I'm producing. Like any other manufacturing, the more you produce, the cheaper it becomes over time. So where the 100 grammer is now, it's over 10 grand. So it's it's that step beyond. $10,000 seems to be the trigger point where people stop buying it quite so frequently. So less of the 100 grammers are coming online or coming down the pike. So we're actually seeing premiums start to edge up on the 100 grammers. I've noticed a couple of refineries are increasing their prices on 100 grammers, but their pricing on half ounces and things like that are coming down because now they're producing more half ounce bars and more 20 gram bars and those types of things. So I would argue that the premiums are changing. They're coming down in the smaller amounts and they're going up slightly in the larger amounts, if that makes sense. Or larger sizes, I should have said there.
There was another question from Desi about the rectangular dragons from 04. He says, Michael, are you expecting to get more rectangular gold dragons in after this pre-order batch sells out?
Absolutely. We have a very large allocation. It's just...
I was going to question if we spoke about this on stream or not. Like I said, we didn't really have too much time to talk, but are we talking about shipping out of Perth at the moment?
Look, I'm not allowed to talk about this online, so here goes.
Let me get a close-up.
Yeah, get me out of the shot.
Wuss. Look, there are issues getting stock at the moment. I'm walking a really fine line. I want to let people know what's happening, but I also have to be very conscious of commercial confidentialities. So if I sound like I'm stepping around things, it's because I absolutely am. There are difficulties getting product shipped, is probably the best way to put it. The product themselves exist. They are there. It's just getting them either from A to B is one issue, and also there is an issue with packaging at the moment, not least of all being because of all these shipping issues around the world that we're seeing these days. So, for example, and I'm just pulling an example here, for example, Perth Mint's minted bars, and I'm not having a go at Perth Mint over this. But their minted bars come in a package. Now, if they run out of those packages, they don't manufacture them themselves. They import them. They can't just say, we need another 1,000 of these. They've got to organise them, and then they've got to be shipped in from wherever they're made from. So it's slowing the whole process down, and it's causing bottlenecks all over the shop. So we are absolutely seeing restricted deliveries, and one of those is the the dragons, the rectangular dragons. So we do have a whole stack more on order. We are just waiting for them to arrive, and that includes the silver as well as the gold.
Mm.
Nice.
But there's also a couple of other things on that list that people will be waiting for, and that's the 2-ounce emus.
They're another one that's caught up in it.
They're on pre-order, and over on the numismatic side, I've been quite excited about the Rubik's Cube coins coming through. And Matt, you were telling me that they were sold out over in Perth at the coin show you were at. They were fairly popular.
They're
So-
a big
the
hit,
Rubiks.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. They're
Super cool package.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
that's one of those things where they've actually,
they've nailed it.
yeah, someone had an idea like in their mind's eye, and whoever was responsible for that concept must be so happy to see it come to fruition and do it justice the way they have.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
No, this is not financial advice. This one's a winner, absolute winner. If you can get your sticky fingers on a Rubik's Cube coin from the Perth Mint, grab hold. I think LCS has still got some left.
I'm just
they're on
I'm just
pre-order.
checking that before I
Pump it up.
I pump it up too much. But it
Because again,
looks,
we put in, because Ruben and I had the advantage of shooting over to Perth and actually seeing it before it was released. And we both went, this is it.
Yeah, book it in.
We'll take as many of these. We'll take the whole lot if we can. It's a mintage of 2,500, I believe. Is that right, Rubes? Yeah, okay. I think it's 2,500.
3,000.
And that's, you've got to remember
3,000.
that's worldwide. 3,000, is it?
Yep.
Okay. Mintage of 3,000, which is a drop in the bucket. Because you've not only got coin nerds like Matt and I that are going, these are super cool.
Yeah.
You've got... Have you got a picture of them that you can throw up there, Rubes?
I did have, and I don't, I'm afraid. And
Yeah,
because
okay.
It
we're
is a preload
multi-streaming,
these days.
we
Unreal.
moved to preloaded. I miss my ability to
Yeah.
spontaneously.
So you've got all these coin nerds like us two that are going, these are really cool. Then you've got all the Rubik's Cube guys that are going nuts over it.
Yeah,
All
the
the younger
cubers.
ones, like all my kids' friends, they're all going, oh, these are so cool,
Yeah.
all this sort of stuff. So, they're just going to be a hit, and they're going to be, because Rubik's Cube is perennial, it's always there, they are always going to be a hit. And there's going to be always someone that wants a present for that Rubik's Cube nut in the
Yeah.
family. And so you're going to see these things go up. In my opinion, this is not financial advice. This is one you're going to see increase in value.
You need your own van to drive across the desert once a week to just get stock, is the suggestion there. in the chat.
Yeah, go for a cruise. Little road, a stream from the road trip. Imagine that.
Because we've got so much spare time.
Yeah, spare time. Ruben can make it work on the road.
Yeah, that's right.
Piece of cake.
Yeah.
Couple of questions directly for you there, Michael. It says, Michael, have you seen news of various layoffs lately? Given this and sticky inflation, could we be headed for a recession?
I don't think we're headed for a recession. I think we're in one. But I've been saying that for a while now. People are struggling out there. Businesses are struggling. I would argue walk down the main street of pretty much any town in the Western Hemisphere, like in the Western world, so the States, the UK, a lot of Europe, particularly Australia, every third shop is empty. You walk around Melbourne, I park all over the place for security reasons, but when I'm walking into the shop for whatever reason, and I'm walking past, walking down streets, one of the things I look for is how busy are the shops? Are there shops even there? And even in the Melbourne CBD, there are holes everywhere where there's not just one shop, but there'll be 2 or 3 shops in a row that are all empty. There's shop fronts vacant in the Burke Street Mall. Now, I go back even 5 years ago, but you go back 10 or 15 years ago, you had to wait 12 months to go on the waiting list to put your name down, never mind actually get in there, whereas we could open a shop in Burke Street Mall tomorrow if we wanted.
Yep. And I'm sure that, sweeten the pot, give you a rent-free period and things like that.
The whole box and dice. So, to say, are we heading for a recession? I think we're in the middle of it. I think we're just seeing, like some of the signs are now more obvious, like the mines are laying off not a few people, they're laying off hundreds. Fortescue the other day announced 700 people that they're laying off, 700 positions. I was reading a report, they were interviewing the Kalgoorlie pub owner, and thousands of jobs have been lost out of the Kalgoorlie region. They were meant to be putting in, BHP I think was spending like it was either BHP or Rio, one of the big ones. They were spending $1 billion putting in an accommodation facility down there.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
And they've pulled the pin on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
So, are we in a recession? Absolutely we are. This is just because the technical numbers don't show that we are. I think now we've manipulated those numbers to such a large degree that they no longer tell us what they used to say. So I go back to the unemployment. This is the one I always fall back on. The unemployment rate is an incredibly rubbery figure. When I was in high school, the unemployment rate was literally that. If you didn't have a job, like a real job, working pretty much full-time hours, you appeared on the unemployment figures, rightly or wrongly. Nowadays, if you are working for 1 hour or more, you are considered to be fully employed.
Ah, right.
Like, how is that an accurate number? You can't tell me that almost any adult in Australia would not be surviving on 1 hour's wage a week.
Well, if it's a hell of an hour, who knows? Depends what you're doing, I guess.
I do remember talking to someone, we were talking about Territory Day the other week with fireworks, and they basically sold fireworks for this one day of the year, and then that was basically it for the year. That was they made enough on that one day.
Yeah.
So yeah, it does happen, but the average person, to your point, is absolutely not living off that 1 hour.
Yeah. Rubes, could you hit the down arrow on there? It's
I can.
nuts.
Sorry. There you go.
Yeah. So, I think, I don't think you can trust the numbers anymore. I know you're not going to believe this statement, but I don't think you can trust the politicians or the media anymore.
What?
And I know that's a foreign concept to everyone here. I'm just spinning everyone out by saying that. But I think that you just have to look out the window. Go for a walk down the main street of your local town.
Yep.
Talk to some of the shopkeepers. Talk to your mates over a barbecue over the weekend. And you'll see that we've been doing it tough for a while.
I'm loving the occasional comments from Mortified Stacker about the state of the Sydney shop. They say, great idea with the wheelbarrow access ramp. They said before about, the fountain with the kookaburra and the bird bath out the front was a strange idea, but
imagine that.
So I think we just got to write all these down for a future shop because they're all great ideas.
Well, it could be a Perth shop, because then we'd actually be able to get hold of our stock a
Yeah,
lot quicker.
You think that?
Start dispatching it.
Now, Matt, you said you wanted me to remind you about a story you had this week
I
to
did,
do with,
and I forgot,
to do with
so
cash.
I'm glad I told you. I knew I'd forget once we start, with all the planning we did for today.
Exactly.
So a scenario unfolded, and I knew that the loyal viewers of this channel would be delighted to hear this tale of victory on my part. But during the weekend's frivolities in Perth at the Money Expo, I scooted down to the cafe to get a coffee, and when I walked in, they were in total disarray. The owner of the cafe was all flustered and panicked, and I'd been in the day before, and she said, "Oh, Matt, I'm so sorry." And I said, "What's the problem?" And she said, "Oh, our internet's gone, our FPOS machine's down. We can't do anything. We can't function." And I said, "Well, you're not going to read about this. I'm here for the Money Expo, and here's some cash." And she said, "Oh, this is perfect. Yeah, this is great. Catastrophe avoided." But it was very interesting to see the very real impact on a small business in that sense of, okay, the ability to take card payments is no longer there. She said, "Well, we've got back-to-back bookings. The cafe is full for the whole morning, and that all kicks off in half an hour. If we're not set by then, I may as well send all the staff home, and that's it. We can't function." And then little old me pulled out a little bit of cash, and she was...
It's because you roll around with 10 grand in the folding stuff in your pocket just
Sure.
in case.
Well, it depends on the expo and how well things are going. In this instance, I had a $20 note handy, and she was very, very happy with that. So it felt like an interesting example of, we mentioned it maybe last stream or a few streams ago, the benefit of just having a little bit of cash on hand. And that was one such example where you would not have liked to run into me for a bit of a meet and greet if I hadn't had a coffee. It would have been a real bummer. Yeah, exactly. So, wow, geez, Matt's a bit of a downer. The guy was half asleep. He seems pumped up on these streams and on video, but so it all worked out in the end. But that was my little cash story of the week.
It runs into a little bit of a handball of an article that's kicked off a little bit this week on the Perth Mint. Even though this is a change they made a while ago, I've seen it on a couple of different news outlets now talking about the fact that the Perth Mint has gone cashless.
Well, we pick on the Perth Mint. Have a look at RAM.
Well,
they actually look after our circulating cash. And
this is something I was going to ask you. Do the Royal Australian Mint accept cash?
Not that I'm aware of. Not last time I was there. I'll put it that way.
That's why I thought it was funny, because I'll throw up the article, and yeah, it talks about the fact that, hey, this is the Perth Mint. They don't accept cash. This is why they don't accept cash. But the last line got me, and it said, interestingly, a spokesperson for the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra told Yahoo Finance it happily and definitely still accepts cash.
Well, yeah, did the other. It's a few months ago now, but you didn't a few months ago.
So, yeah, that's it. I thought it was a little bit of, shots fired in Perth Mint's direction of, well, actually, we still accept it, unlike that mob over there.
Yeah, but what size of transaction are you talking? Is this for like, a full-on, you're ordering half of an entire mintage for something and they don't accept cash and you're upset?
No, they don't accept. Like, let me go back to... They didn't accept cash when I tried to pay at the cafeteria there.
Oh, really?
Now,
they're accepting cash on the weekend.
At the RAM?
Yeah.
You were at the RAM on the weekend?
No, I was at a money expo and the RAM was there.
Yeah, okay.
Remember that thing I was at?
Yeah, I remember that thing. Yeah, okay. Oh, maybe, I don't know. Maybe I just...
Well, I don't know either. I should have asked them if they accept it at the...
If any of our viewers are from Canberra and can,
Yeah, we need someone on the inside. Give us the hot goss.
But yeah, I thought that was strange. I hadn't realised that they did accept it, and that's it. It did feel a little bit, well, we accept it.
Yeah.
So they flaming should.
Well, yeah.
But having said that, even if that is the case, I've got to be careful here. You got to look at what Perth Mint's just been through, because they've been given absolute hell for these last, in excess of a year now.
It is far easier for them in that situation to say, hey, it's no longer a potential problem because we've taken this step. You can understand from that point of view why they might have. But yeah, that's it. I was surprised to see it kick off again. That's it. The spokesperson for the Perth Mint in that article was basically like, we made this change back in 2021. It's not not exactly new news here, but
yeah. So look, I mean, Perth Mint's been put through the ringer these last several months, like many months, and there's still a political football in Perth. If you want to score some votes, you just bag out the Perth Mint. It's I don't blame them for drawing a line under it and saying fine. Whereas RAM is federally government owned, and albeit for me to say that if you're federally government owned, you're protected against pretty much anything, but that's pretty much what it is. Oh, I could have made a comment there. It almost fell out. Bit that one back quick enough.
Got to be careful on these live shows.
What else you got, Ruben?
Speaking of interesting ways to pay and do business and things like that, saw a couple of articles and even memes online about something that's kicked off in the US. We actually had someone email it through to us. I think it was Andrew and Kath, so thanks, guys. But it's a vending machine selling ammo in the US.
Only in the US would you get away with that.
So there's been a couple of games and things like that I've played in the past that have featured, I think Borderlands is one of them that have featured, ammo from a vending machine. But interesting to see it actually happen. And of course, I started thinking about, if we would ever have a Bullion vending machine here as a part of Bullion Now, either here in Melbourne or potentially out at Pakenham. Do you reckon I could swing it, Michael?
Well, now we're getting the space in Melbourne.
Well, that's it.
I'm open to the conversation.
That's it. Yeah. It wouldn't
Prior to a few weeks ago, I would have gone, where are we going to hang it? From the ceiling?
Yeah. But
maybe a claw machine.
Yeah, we've spoken about that before as well. But I think it would be interesting.
Yeah, I think it'd be great. So I think we should look into it, but let us move into the new facilities first.
But no, I was starting to think about, that's it. Do we go for one of like the classic, like drinks ones or something where they kind of fall, in which case we'd probably have to make them minted bars or something a little bit, open to falling, or if we go for like I've seen like flowers ones and whatever where they have like the doors that actually unlock, so you could open it up and grab it out. I don't know.
You could have one of those, those machines that kind of wiggle back and forth and they spit the coins out. You drop your coin in and if it shuffles everything down properly, I don't know what they're called. What are they called?
Oh, like the gambling kind of ones.
The pushers. That's super. You should do that with 1 ounce.
6650s.
Genius. This is going to be.
I think we've got a full arcade here.
A lot of potential.
Because Goat's also suggesting one of the like the coin. The coin pusher. I was also thinking like a coin stamping thing, like you'd find at an amusement park or something like that.
Yeah.
Or that Perth Mint themselves have.
Those pushers, the problem is, and this is maybe why it's genius, is anytime I'd have a big win on those, I'd just sit there and just feed them all straight back in. I'm like, oh, look at this. I can play for another half an hour and lose all my coins.
Don't go to the casino, mate.
Yeah, I'll steer clear. Yeah, it's not one of my strong suits. Even when I do well, I make sure I don't.
Some comments from BJ there. What are your thoughts on UK stackers getting their bank transfers delayed / cancelled when buying or selling in the UK? Do you think Bullion Now will start experiencing these electronic fund transfer issues from the Australian banks in the future?
Already experiencing them. That's been an issue for us for a few years now. Where I had, it's a little while ago now, but I had a lady in tears. She'd sold her house. So we're talking a larger sum of money. Sold her house. The money was sitting in her bank account. She'd come in, she'd sat down with us, decided exactly what she wanted. We'd printed out the invoice for her. And I said to her, just take this down to your bank. They will transfer the funds across to us. And then, when you're ready, come in and pick up your stock, or we can store it for you, whichever way you'd like to go. And she turned up. I think it was the next day. It might have been a few hours later, but I actually think it was the next day she turned up. She was in absolute tears because the bank would not release her funds. Because it was for bullion and there's no way and you're being ripped off and all this sort of stuff, and they flat out refused. And she wasn't like, in a 150s where, they were worried about senility or anything. She would have been kind of that late 40s, early 50s. Yeah. And the bank flat out refused to transfer the funds. It was just that simple.
We're doing great with the handballs this week, Michael, because that flows really well into a topic that you sent me earlier this week, an article from the Fin Review, talking about the banks saving us from scams and things like that. I'll throw that one up there.
Yeah.
Trouble is, I'm on both sides of the fence with this one.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? So that's it. There's they're talking about a particular lady in this one falling for one of the classic "Hey Mum" scams. So it's claiming to be coming from a daughter or a son, and basically being stuck overseas and needing some cash. And then this lady transferred over $11,000 to this scammer, and is saying, well, the banks allowed this to happen. It's their fault. They shouldn't be letting this happen, and things like that. One of our quotes there: the solution is for the banks to do their job, which is keeping people's money safe from criminals. The government needs to force the banks to take responsibility.
Yeah, that's what we need. More regulation. Yeah.
It's. Yeah, but particularly as well because one of the things that I'd say the banks could do to counter this is to actually hold money during transactions and things for a certain period of time. And as someone who, for the business deals with actually, we need this transfer to go through immediately. We don't want there to be any ability to backtrack once the decision's been made to purchase something. It gets in a little bit of a sticky situation if the person, after, let's say in this instance, receiving their bullion, can turn around and just say, well, actually, don't really feel like that anymore.
Look, the bigger problem I have with it is, like I said, I'm on two sides of the fence here. Yeah, I think the banks should be doing more to counter fraud, but every time we do that and every time we do, more regulation and why didn't the bank protect me from my own stupidity, every time we do that, it makes it harder to do your transactions. It makes it harder. We get, like me, hang on a sec, this is my money. What if I want to take it out and throw it off the Queen Street Bridge into the river, that's my problem, not yours. The only illegal activity I'm doing there is littering. Like, it's irrelevant what I want to do with it. It's irrelevant that I want to do with it. So back off. But yet we end up in these situations where people are coming out saying, we need more regulation, we need to stop me and protect me from myself. Well, honestly, like, to me, when I read through this article, and I sent it through to Rubes, it's from the Australian Financial Review, if anyone wants to actually go back and read it yourself. But, like, to me, if I received a text message from my daughter or any of my kids that said, you know, I've lost my phone, I need money, I would phone that number and say, I just, you know, hi, it's Michael here. My daughter's just sent me a text from this message. Can I just speak to her, please? Like, I wouldn't just go, oh, sure, I'll transfer you 11 grand.
Here you go.
Worries.
Yeah.
Like, hang on
Yeah.
a second. I want to talk to her and make sure she's okay and all this sort of stuff.
I think in relation to this issue, when we've discussed this in the past, my solution, I put my thinking cap on last time as well, is if you feel you may be susceptible to this type of thing, go into the bank and say, hey, I'd like you to put me on a training wheels account.
Yeah.
And if
kinda-
I
it's
do
kinda like
any
tying-
transaction over a certain amount, I need to go into a bank and you can add those steps on a case-by-case basis. But for everyone else, you need to select a level of your personal level of comfort with potential susceptibility to scams and things like that. And if you say, hey, I'm very confident, don't slow me down, and I'll tick the box that says I take full responsibility if I put all my money into some crazy thing and you're not responsible. So
it feels kind of like the tying yourself to the mast before you go visit the island of the sirens. It's like, okay, whilst everything's fine, I'm going to pre-plan and say, okay, these are the measures I want in place on my account. You know, it comes down to a lot of the things we've seen the last couple of years, and it's like, once you're an adult, you know, you should be able to make the choices for, you know, for yourself, for your health, for your financial future, you know, things like that, in my opinion. And yeah, I think this is a perfect example of it.
I find it interesting because they're blaming the banks for this, saying the banks should have protected me. But if she'd sent cash across to this person, they wouldn't have said Australia Post should have protected me.
yeah,
That's not fair. Australia Post should have known that I was putting money in a sealed envelope and sending it to someone that I should. I mean, come on.
yeah. There's
No,
got to be a
half a
little
brain,
bit of accountability for the whole thing.
The other thing my brain automatically also jumps to anytime I hear stories about the banks refunding or something like this situation is also, okay, what if the person is just scamming me and, you know, I'm totally in on it and I'm actually, you know, just looking to double my money essentially.
Yeah.
Oh, it's happened.
Yeah.
Greg brings up an interesting point there. Didn't you guys lose money from someone saying they didn't get a parcel? It's a fine line of trust. He's exactly right. It is. Which is why we put in place things like we trust everybody, but we try and check. So, you know, signature on delivery, full tracking, all that sort of stuff. There's only so many systems you can put in place when, if in the example that Greg's giving there, the problem was not the fact that we trusted. The problem was that the system wasn't followed. They didn't get the signature. They didn't check the ID. They didn't. If the person wasn't actually home, they didn't take the product back to the base. They didn't, like, there were several things that the courier company hadn't done to make sure that they were that they'd followed actual procedures. If the bank hadn't followed correct procedures and they'd taken the funds and the person had lost the funds, then absolutely the bank should be held accountable. But in this example, the bank has followed procedure. I told you to transfer the funds to this scammer's account. You did it. You know, the onus shouldn't be on the bank. The onus should be on me.
Yeah.
We had a situation occur this morning, actually, totally separate. We're trying to get a fridge delivered to Mount Hotham. We've got an apartment up at Mount Hotham, and the fridge blew up while we're up there, so we're trying to replace it. Of course, always happens in the middle of snow season, not summer, doesn't it? So anyway, my wife made an inquiry to a courier to say, how much are you going to charge to move it from the place we bought it from down here in Melbourne and the apartment up at Hotham. And he quoted X amount and said, if you want to go ahead with it, just get in contact with me. Well, we received a phone call this morning from the shop who we'd bought it from saying, oh no, my wife phoned to organise for delivery. And the girl that answered the phone said, "Oh yeah, that was picked up by the courier yesterday." Okay, and my wife said, "Hang on a sec, who picked it up?" And they named it. And my wife said, "Well, I haven't given them any authority. I never agreed to their quote because it's 4 times the quote of anyone else. What the hell?"
Yeah.
And so now we're currently telling that courier, "Mate, you can deliver it if you like, but we're not paying you because you've got nothing signed. You've got no email to say go and pick it up. There is no verbal contract there at all. We asked for a quote. That's it." We were very clear about that. And your last comment to us in writing was, "Get back to me if you'd like me to do this."
And now they say, "Well, I've got your fridge."
Yeah, that's right. Okay, that's fine. It's not my fridge. It's actually the shop's fridge because I've got a thing to say. You need to supply it to me, to no one else.
Yeah. That's an interesting one. That's a very interesting scenario you present.
Might arrive with a couple of dings and bumps in it, I think.
Yeah.
The big advantage, though, is when your fridge blows up in winter, when you're above the snow line, you just open the window and you just put all your bottles of milk and that into the snow out the window. And it keeps it nice and cold. It's great.
So you didn't need it anyway.
I'm going to pitch this one to you, Matt, because I cannot keep up with all these different variations, I'm going to be honest. It's from Jason there. Seen a Perth Mint 1/10 coloured gold dragon coin by an eBay seller in Germany. The dragon is blue like the 1 ounce gold from Perth Mint sold that had the 188 mintage. Any news on it being released here?
Is it from this year or is it an old release? Because there are old, way back Series 1, you get the coloured. I've seen the red. I don't know if I've seen blue. But that's an interesting example of, and unfortunately, Ruben's hands are tied. He can't throw up images. But that's a really great example. And we should do a highlight at some point of how far the Perth Mint have come in terms of production.
Oh, yeah.
That colour is garbage. It looks so bad. It looks like someone took a photo on one of the early camera phones. And
I remember thinking that even just doing the video on like early on into Series 3 and going through and looking at some of the Series 1 and 2, and I look at some of the designs and go, wow, you can tell that that's a little bit older. Like, you know, it's a thing that's been around for, centuries and centuries. Coin design has been around for, forever, but it still feels like an old design, even though it's only from 20-something years ago.
Yeah, but the rate of progress is incredible. Looking back at from then to now, I wonder what the next 20 years will look like. It's a very exciting time, and it must be an exciting time to be a designer at the Mint as well, because there's a lot happening. But in answer to the question, I have not seen a 1/10 ounce gold blue dragon. And I suspect it would be from perhaps Series 1 because I don't know that they've done... I can't think off the top of my head of many.
Yeah, they did some coloured one. I'm trying to think now.
Well, there was the half-ounce silver set is kind of, to my knowledge, was kind of the wide array of the different designs and colours. And there was some blue ones in that, but I don't know if I've seen it.
Series 2 had a 1/10 coloured, I'm sure of it. We're all madly
furiously typing away.
I'm sure they did
you
coloured in the
joking?
1/10.
You sure?
It was a proof. It wasn't a bullion.
Oh, mate.
There, what's that one there?
That's a 1 ounce.
Goat, I don't think it will actually let you at all. YouTube doesn't like links, I'm afraid. It's not actually me deleting it.
This is the one I was thinking of. That one was wowee.
But eBay selling them for $10 each, so I suspect they're not real.
Yeah, that could be an issue for you. Maybe it's that. Here we go. 1/10 ounce, 2024. What? Is this fair income?
It's looking swish. Yeah, for you, only $12.
I don't know.
I love it.
It looks legit.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, there's a couple of people pointing out
2024
what's
with
the
the
ties
Queen
into
on
to
Wait,
get a hand.
and then it's a memorial obverse.
Yeah, but did they have... Oh, yeah, 2024. Sorry.
I don't know. Well, you should know this, Michael. What did the Perth say that they're doing this? Shouldn't
They
you
don't run
get word
everything
on this?
past me, you know.
They should run most things past you.
I know we're looking at taking them over, but they don't run everything past me.
Not yet. Yeah. All right. Well, to answer your question, I've seen it now. Cannot confirm or deny if it's legit.
Yeah.
Looks cool though.
I got to say, before we go
on.
off the coloured topic, I just I was having this conversation actually yesterday. The person on the phone said to me, I hate the coloured coins. I said, well, when was the last time you saw one? Probably 5 years ago, 10 years ago. I said, yeah, but have you seen one of the latest ones they're doing? And I got to say, the stuff that Perth Mint is pulling between their coloured, their reverse proofs, their gildeds, and that type of stuff, the technology that they use, or the product they're producing is just like way above what it was even 5 years ago. It's just so good these days, where I'm finding myself, because I was one of those guys that I always kind of liked the gilded, but I never really liked the coloured ever. But now I'm starting to go, actually, I really like that. They've really done a good job with that. They're making it really pop now, so it's good to see.
Yeah, 100%.
I think we need to, I don't know, I haven't actually spoken about this with you, Michael, but there was talk of us doing a live release. I haven't actually heard if that is going to be going ahead or ready to go yet, but just before we potentially do it, is that something you are actually wanting to do?
The live release of what?
Today?
Oh, you're talking about that other thing?
Yeah, maybe.
For the thing in...
The thing that's similar to the coins in front of you that people can't see yet.
We planned this stream to a T.
To the minutes, to the second even.
This is all part of the plan.
So we're talking about the one that, like, if you duck, you'll miss it and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah.
The new one coming out?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay, we can talk about that. Have you got a picture of it?
No, because I didn't think that... Like,
let's do it past you.
Yeah.
Do a live release.
So we are getting a whole bucket load of these creatures in. Have we got them there, Rubes? Or am I going to look like a Muppet?
You're going to look like a Muppet.
Oh, you haven't got the picture. Oh,
He just said he didn't have the picture. Switch on, man.
I asked ads to send you the picture before we went on live stream.
Yeah, I don't know.
Didn't happen?
No.
Hey, it's stuck in treasury.
All right. Can you find a picture of it?
I can't upload because we're streaming on Instagram.
Right, you send me the picture and I'll hold my...
that I can do.
Yeah,
that I can do.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Oh, dear.
I told
put
you,
a
this
man
is-
on the moon, but you
Yeah.
think we can show a picture on YouTube? Unbelievable.
I can't as well as stream on Instagram. If you're telling me we want to can that in 8 of it, I'm 100% able to do it.
We should do a live stream from Stephen Bayer's place. He's got fighter jets going overhead.
Unreal.
Mate,
Wow.
I used to live like under short finals going into Tullamarine, and I loved it. All the planes going in and out, and yeah, it's great. All right, so we have. Come on, fellas, get it organised.
I'm sending a message to Ruben who's sitting opposite me. All right, here we go.
Like my kids texting each other on the couch. So no, we don't want that side. We want the other side.
What?
We don't want that side?
The other side's the side we've seen already.
I thought we had one of him ducking.
No.
So we've put in, we don't have them yet, but we are releasing them for pre-order. If it's not ready now, it'll be ready before the end of the day. We're releasing them for pre-order, and it is the next load of Trump coins. So we released the Trump coins.
That's perfect. We should do all photos like this now.
From, what was it, 2 weeks ago? We did the Trump release. And obviously, since the Trump release that we had over here, there's been an assassination attempt on his life. And so somebody has been incredibly quick and produced these Trump coins with him giving his salute after he managed to worm his way out from under all the Secret Service guys that had thrown themselves on top of him.
Where are these coming from? Do we know?
Yeah, we do. Why are you asking?
I don't know. Well, I'm skeptical. What's the quality going to be like on something
No,
that's
quality's good. It's from the same guys as the last ones we introduced.
Oh, is this top secret? I don't know what. Have I put my foot in it?
No. It's you want to know the mint that produced them?
Sure.
Well, I could tell you, but I'd have to kill you. At the end.
Oh, go on.
They're actually produced by Silvertown.
Oh,
in the
okay.
US.
Right.
I was expecting to have a link, but the person that would give me the link has suddenly gone AWOL, and now I can't get a response out of him. So this is a little teaser. Hold fire. We will. We will
picking
have
up
these.
a trend.
We will
have communication back and forth going on here.
Honestly, we are organised. We honestly, no, I'm not going to give myself into serious trouble here.
It was actually more just to let people, because there was a few people asking about if we were even going to be getting them. We didn't actually know at the start of today, and it's kind of, oh yeah, we're getting them. Oh, we're releasing them. You know, kind of all happened very, very quickly.
Yeah, so we contacted our suppliers from overseas, and we're bringing in a whole bucket load of them.
Wow.
So it's Trump. If you couldn't see the picture, it's where he's putting his hand up or his fist up, I suppose, after the assassination attempt. They are unlimited numbers. However, that's a bit of a furphy because they've done one run of them. They may possibly do a second run if they're popular enough, and they will be quite popular. But it's not like they're still going to be producing them in 2 years' time. So we are, as far as I'm aware, we're only bringing in one load of them. But they are going up for pre-order. If they're not on our website now, and I'm getting the impression from Ruben that they are not on our website.
Adam's now mad at me and sending me a million messages saying the words live. So I think they're just going up now. I can't find them yet though, but I will send a link as soon as.
Poor Adam, we give him hell, don't we, on a Friday, the poor mongrel?
Yeah, but he loves it. That's what gets him out of bed in the morning.
So they will be available on our website momentarily. And look, even in the chat here, I can see it's dividing people. I love not so much the Trump coins, although they highlight it. People that love Trump buy them to give them people who don't like Trump. People that don't like Trump buy them to give them to people who like Trump. So it's like everyone loves a Trump coin.
The website is now crawling to it. I'm trying to get the link for people, but the website is crawling. All right, there we go. We've got
the link. So they are up.
They are up.
All right.
They are for
now look,
pre-order.
you've got time. Literally, we're bringing in thousands of the suckers. So you don't have to race off and order them right this second. You can wait till the end of the live stream and then place your order.
I can see a massive drop of viewers from when I put that. Like I'm watching my little graph here, and it just went. So yeah, I think we're down to a couple of people watching right now.
So now's where we're talking about the free gold giveaway.
Yeah, now's the time.
So yeah, look, it's there's heaps of them there, so you don't have to race off and get them, and they're actually a really good price. I think they're. Rubes, can you tell me what they are? They're only
just under 53 each, 52.50 something.
52.23 I've got.
Oh, there you
right
go.
now.
And spots around 45 at the moment, or 47.
Thereabouts. It's a
So
bargain.
They're less than $10.
Yeah.
They're less than $10 a coin over spot. So they're dearer than the kangaroo, but not by much. So they're not a bad coin just to buy if you're stacking 1 ounces. Add a bit of flavour to your stack. They're good for a laugh.
The website is definitely struggling at the moment, so like Michael said,
panic.
don't stress too much. I think people are a little bit jumpy because a few of the Trump rounds in the past have kind of come and gone very quickly, but there is actually.
I will guarantee you that they will be there until we sell out. So don't stress.
The other thing I was
expertly handled.
The other thing that I haven't cleared with you, Michael, that I wanted to potentially tease is an upcoming exclusive item. Can I show the back of it?
If you're showing the back, you're showing the front.
No,
Come
you're
on.
not
What
on
do
this
you
one.
mean?
Not on this
Is
one.
this the one I think you're talking about?
Yes.
Oh,
Can
sorry,
I show
everyone. We're doing
the back
secret
or not?
squirrels now.
You can show the back.
Okay.
Ooh, what could this be?
So something is coming, something is in the works, and we're very, very excited. There will probably be a few keen-eyed that will be able to tell a little bit more about that just from that one photo. But very exciting. Looking forward to being able to show more. But this is
very limited number, as you can see on the bottom there.
Yeah,
that is number 1 of 500. Very limited number.
Yeah, not something you see every day.
Yeah. So this is I was going to say it's a trial run. It's not a trial run. These are legit bars, but they're not what you're thinking. And
well, it depends on what
How
you're
do you
thinking.
know what I'm thinking?
I was going to say they could be perfectly on the money.
I'm loving some of the suggestions that are coming through, but they are a very. I'm stoked with how good a quality they are coming through. Now they are not a bullion bar. Okay, let's be clear right from the start. They're not a bullion bar, but they are.
They're made of bullion. Just
they
to
certainly
clarify.
are. Well,
But
it says in the top right hand corner
Yeah.
there, 2 ounces of fine silver. So they are, they're 2 ounces of silver. But I'm actually really stoked with how well they showed up. So
awesome. So yeah, looking forward to some more details. Sorry, Michael, I know I didn't run that one past you beforehand, but
It's the best way to get things over the line.
Yeah, that's
Do it live.
Yeah, what the heck? Friday afternoon, we can get away with anything.
That's the way to do it. So yeah, there we go. A couple of a bit of a live tease of a product as well as a live release. We're kicking goals for this stream.
Speaking of kicking goals, here's a cool tidbit. This I'll probably, if we did a pre-stream conversation, I would have raised it then. But it was very cool to obviously be in Perth last weekend, but to speak to a number of staff members from the Perth Mint who watch our live streams.
Oh, really?
It was, really, really cool.
Better mind our P's and Q's.
Yeah, 100%. I did think that. We might need to straighten this thing up a bit, not be so casual, but it seems to be, well, from what I gathered, it was well received. They were, and it wasn't just one, it was, a number of them all said, yeah, we watch the stream regularly in the office and it's a good time. So, yeah. And again, nice to know that what we're doing here has a reach beyond, these four walls, just three guys having a yak. It was really, really nice. So, hello to anyone at the Mint watching.
It's also good to know that the industry's watching.
Yeah.
And supporting. Like Perth Mint, we've been very clear over the years, we don't work for Perth Mint. We don't have any secret knowledge in the Perth Mint, but obviously we've got an account with the Perth Mint and we deal with them on a semi-regular basis. But we've had our ups and downs with the Perth Mint over the years, but overall they produce particularly nowadays, a fantastic product. They do it professionally. And they love the industry they're in. They're not just there to make a dollar.
Yep.
They're passionate about the industry. And what more could you ask? Like that's what we want. We want people that are passionate about the industry to be in the industry and to make positive changes in the industry.
Yeah.
Because for too many years it was secret squirrel stuff and you never kind of, like, it was shady and you never kind of knew how pricing was based and what was this and, how did that kind of play out and why did this decision get made? Whereas now, us and Perth Mint and several others in the industry are actually starting to come out and lift the veil and talk about these sorts of things. So it's nothing but positive from us.
Yeah.
And the world goes silent.
Well, enough said.
There was a couple of comments before. I'm now going to take a look before the hype about the Bullion Now Bar.
Vegas stacker. Love the Perth Mint here in the US. Worldwide.
Yeah.
The Perth Mint is quality and product is recognised around the world as a world leader, and so it flaming well should do.
But you wouldn't expect it from Australia to be on the world stage. I wouldn't have expected.
Why not though? Why don't we expect that?
Well, because my perspective is coming from an interest in stamps. And it goes back to a conversation.
We say more.
It will come full circle. I had a conversation. I didn't expect to have this conversation, but many, probably even 10 years ago, I was at the World Coin and Stamp Show in Melbourne, and I was chatting with a stamp dealer, who's a very highly regarded stamp dealer. And out of curiosity, I said, "Well, where does Australian philately land on the world scale?" And he said, "If it were an ocean, we wouldn't even be a minnow." Yeah. He said, "It's unbelievable how insignificant Australian stamps are on the world stage." So I'm thinking at it from that sense. Obviously, a different arena altogether, but to look at the bullion landscape on a global stage and say, yeah, Perth Mint's up there, not just in the conversation, they're on the podium of, high quality, highly world-renowned mints in the world. And that's, I don't know, it's pretty unreal when you think about that in those terms.
When you're overseas, a standard comparison is, this is our X coin. I know it's not as good as a Perth Mint.
Yeah.
So it's all like, it's the standard bearer. Like everyone's comparing themselves to the quality of the Perth Mint.
Yeah.
I know we bang on about this quite frequently, but, like when you receive a Royal Mint coin, you're going, how does this compare to the Perth Mint? It's not as good.
Yep.
Like you pull a Canadian Mint coin. Yeah, these are good. In comparison to a Perth Mint, it's probably about the same as a Perth Mint. Or it's like the Canadian Mint is, I wouldn't say this if Matt was in the room, but, it's probably one of the few that can actually get on the same level as the Perth or even slightly beat them at times. it's very rare that anyone else. So everyone's trying to pitch to be, am I as good as the Perth Mint?
Yeah.
I think it's particularly highlighted because Australia is so often forgotten in so many other aspects around, for other things around the world. I mean, the amount of time someone will be doing a worldwide tour or something like that, it's like, Australia? Nah, not happening. Sorry.
We're world renowned for cricket, swimmers, and the Perth Mint products.
Yeah, 100%. The big three, as they call it.
That's the one. Oh, dear. We had a comment come through on Instagram, I believe it was.
Oh.
And it was talking about someone doing a video, someone else, I can't remember exactly who, sorry, talking about the glut of silver for distributors that are paying back. They are paying back of spot and some taking weeks for payment. So are we finding a similar thing here in Australia? And is it becoming more difficult for us to pay spot price? Given that that's something we tend to pride ourselves on. So is there too much of silver or gold, but they've specified silver in this case, in the market at the moment, and is it causing pressure on our ability to pay spot price for buybacks and things like that?
Can I come back to your question in a second? There's just some comments going through that I want to ping. I love delete my account. I've said this before. There's no advantage to buying, even if you live in Perth. Can buy cheaper from Bullion Now, and it always cracks me up when we send a parcel to Perth, and I think, seriously, guys.
Yeah.
The number of there used to be a guy that used to live across the road from the Perth Mint that bought from us and had it shipped to him. It always used to make me laugh. Nathie boy, Perth has better packaging than Ram. That's one of Matt's pet things. He loves the Ram packaging, don't you, mate?
It's such an opportunity for improvement, but maybe this is one of those things they're sort of holding back, and then they'll come to the party with some nice packaging. But yeah, you're right, Perth.
I love your optimism. I don't share it, but I love it.
I'm a glass half full kind of guy, even when the glass is smashed on the ground. It comes back to that example from earlier, something like the Rubik's Cube.
Yeah.
The Ram would never do that. It would come out in and the Ram, they do some wonderful work, but gee whiz, Perth are just cutting loose with their packaging quality and some of the things that they've even done in the past, like the I think it was the Warfare series that Lucas did, where you could get it with the 3D glasses, and it had there are many facets to a lot of the Perth Mint's packaging.
And not a fan of the masterpieces of silver packaging.
Oh, gee whiz, that's a segment in and of itself. It is the most disappointing thing when you see beautiful coins and you take the box out and the whole thing sort of crumbles in your hands as it's coming out of the outer sleeve. It's brutal.
That series
that
in particular.
Wasn't one of their finer moments, that one.
It wasn't just a moment. It was like years of that going on. But I guess that's a great example of hindsight being what it is, because I'm sure at the time when they were doing all the trials and things, they thought, this is it. This is the new kind of packaging. This will be great. And then just stick with it's like a semi-timber type box. Just stick with those.
If they just sent them out in capsules, it would have been better than what
do anything. Yeah, give me a build my own box kit.
It's just slid off my page. One of the others I wanted to touch on, I think it was Vegas Stacker, said he's going to do a video comparing the Kookaburra with the Libertad. When you do it, mate, I love those sort of things. So send a link through to us and we'll actually we'll publish it probably on the live stream.
We'll review your review on a live stream.
I think it's great when people do those reviews and get them out there. So anyway, I said this last week. There's heaps of comments on here. And a lot of us go through the comments after the live stream, but there's so many that come through that we can't comment on them all, but we do read pretty much every single comment that comes through. So please know that we're not ignoring you. We just can't do it all at the same time, sort of thing.
And we get a bit sidetracked from time to time.
Just on the odd example.
Speaking of,
bring me back on topic.
Yeah.
Mate.
What was the question?
The question was, they were watching a video of someone in the US talking about how there's been a bit of a glut in the market of silver, lots of silver, and dealers are, having issues buying it back, and potentially paying less than they normally would. So one is the same thing happening here in Australia, and is it becoming more difficult for us to pay spot price on things, considering it's something we pride ourselves on?
Short answers, look, the level of buybacks has gone up, always does when spot price jumps, you always see the buybacks increase, but you also see the demand increase as well. So there's a corresponding sale or increase in sales. I fully intend. Look, you can never say never, particularly in this industry, but I fully intend to keep paying spot for as long as I possibly can. And I'm not seeing anything to indicate that we shouldn't be paying for it. Now, Bullion now prides itself on paying spot. There are a couple of provisos. So, larger bars, we don't pay that on. Large quantities, if you're returning, Rubes, help me here, if you're selling back more than 50 kilos of silver in a week, 50 ounces of gold in a week, I think it is. It's on our FAQs anyway, whatever it is. We do, then it's priced by negotiation under those circumstances. But at the end of the day, if we had somebody walk in with several hundred kilos, even several thousand kilos of silver right now, we would absolutely buy it. I'd be very, very thankful for it. We are flat out getting enough silver through in our buyback program. It is always, always, always very, very popular, going straight back out the door again. Sometimes and we've said this before, sometimes you don't even get to complete the purchase order from the customer before the next customer's saying, oh, I'll have that. So we just can't get enough of the stuff. I don't think we will ever stop paying spot for things. And certainly I'm not seeing a glut in the industry. I'm seeing an increase, but absolutely I'm not seeing a glut.
A couple of other questions that have come through there. I'm not sure how specific you're going to want to get about this one, but Stephen says, where is Intrinsic Tender from? They're a bloody good little mint, I reckon.
They're not a mint. They're a brand, trademark, a design, and they've
actually been made around the world. They've been made at a few different places. I know for a while they were done in the States. There was some done in England, and some also done fairly locally here.
Yeah. So they actually contract out the manufacturing to different refineries and manufacturers around the world, and the products that are produced, I have to say, are very high quality. There are very, very few that I've gone, really? But yeah, as a rule, they're very, very good, the intrinsic tendered products. So hopefully they'll keep that up moving forward. But it is a local brand, but they just use different places around the world, if that makes sense.
Asia has commented, any chance of getting our currency in solid gold? Would love to get a set.
We have 3 sets currently in coins in gold, produced by RAM.
Yeah.
2007, does that sound right?
Am I meant to know, as in, are you talking about in stock or that have been made?
I'll take either at this point.
That have been
I'm
made.
floundering a little.
They've done a number
done it
of
a
them.
few times, yeah.
The original mintages were 300, I want to say, and then they wound it back to 150 and then down to 100. I think they only do 50 now of the gold sets of each of the denominations each year.
And that's only the coin denominations, not the notes. But yeah, we've got 3 sets in at the moment. I want to say they're 2005s and 2007s. I might be wrong on the years, but we've got 3 sets in, all pure, like 4/9 gold. And they're beautiful. I can't bring myself
very, very cool.
They're in the back room, so no one can actually see them except us. And I keep saying, we really should put them on display and sell them, but they're just so nice.
You get a little distracted, next thing you know.
The only thing I don't like about some of those sets that we do have come through is I love the ones that are pretty much just the circulating currency, not any kind of, fancy coins or whatever, but, the classic designs of the $1, the 2, the 50 cent, things like that. That's what I love.
Yeah. No, it's So yes, you can get them, and in actual fact, we have a couple of them in stock. So if you want to see them, drop on by and we'll drag them out for you. And if you want to purchase one, just let us know, and I haven't even organised a price for them yet, but we'll organise a price.
Yeah.
We'll work out what
Put
we're
on the list.
Yeah.
We get this question a fair bit, and I think it's definitely worth answering, but I'm never 100% sure of exactly what people are necessarily expecting with the question. The question is, hi guys, do BN accept trades? Like, could I bring in silver and swap for gold? And my answer has always kind of been, well, kind of technically yes, because we do buy back at spot price, and so you are paying a little bit, but you're only paying the premium on the whatever new item you're looking at buying, which, you know, depending, it means then it doesn't factor in what you're bringing in, but it essentially is a swap.
we don't do a straight like ratio swap, gold silver ratio swap. Obviously, we're a business at the end of the day. We've got to take a cut somewhere in the middle to produce these high quality YouTube live streams.
Absolutely, yeah. Program doesn't run itself.
That's right. Which is what it goes towards funding. But yeah, you know, essentially the answer is yes. You can bring your silver in and swap it for gold, and we'll take a small slice in the middle, and away you'll go. Yeah, absolutely.
It's still not, and we've spoken about this before, but that's the downside of dealing with physical metals is the fact that you do have to deal with premium and things like that. So it's not something that we'd recommend necessarily doing all the time of, you know, swapping back and forth. You know, it can take some serious price moves for it to actually be something worth doing. But yeah, if you've become fed up with one particular metal and you want to swap it on over, it's absolutely something we can help with.
Yeah. Looks like one of you guys have pulled a Swifty on me, because Metal Inquisitor's saying only 2 sets left. We sold him the World War II one.
Far stranger things have happened.
Yeah. It wouldn't shock me if someone slipped past and grabbed it on me. But it's amazing the amount of things that seem to disappear out of my collection around here. But, anyways.
Stephen says there's a set of gold notes in a display case for sale at a local jeweller's here, which is 999.9% gold. I think someone needs to go back to school and learn how percentages work. I see this all the time with like 4 9s, 3 9. You know, I've seen some really interesting spots for that decimal place at times. Well, I've seen it as 39.9 before.
Yeah, because it's looking at parts per thousand.
Yeah, but it seems to swap between as to if people are doing it as a percentage or parts per thousand.
So PAMP do it as parts per thousand. They do 999.9. So it's not uncommon in the industry. But 4 9s is 4 9. If it's got 4 9s on it, then it's 4 9s, wherever the decimal place is at that point.
From Nathan, do you guys pay the premium on gold coins we bring in, or just take it for the metal value itself?
We're a bullion dealer. We only look at metal value, so we pay spot. Having said that, there are very rare occasions where we'll go, well, actually, that's an X. You know, we might pay a little bit over spot, but it's incredibly rare. Expect to get spot, and you won't be disappointed.
I'm not going to say who or exactly what the coin was or anything for privacy. We did have someone reach out to us on Instagram this week, offering us a very small coin and asking what we'd pay for it. And we said, spot price. And they said, well, that's, it's from this or that, and it's actually worth a couple of $1 million. And it's like, well, sorry, we're really not the place for it. Like, it looks cool, but yeah, we're really not the type to be shelling out that kind of cash for, something that's so well and beyond the actual gold content.
Yeah, but that's the equivalent of taking a classic car into a scrap dealer and saying, what are you going to give me?
Sure, you'll recognise this for what it is.
It's like, we do know and respect it. We have an appreciation for it, but from a business point of view, it's not something we enter into. Ask and you shall receive, Michael. The you mentioned last week you wanted to see. I'm going to put you under the under the barrel here. You wanted to see an emu in a bird bath, and the customers have obliged you. And we've got a couple of different entries in there for you to look at.
None of those are photoshopped. I do like that one in the top right-hand corner, though. That's a classic.
That one sent me down a rabbit hole you would not believe.
What was that?
There was actually a couple of images alongside that one looking very similar, and I was so confident it was AI. There was like just the one of the shots particularly, and it's not actually one I've included there, but one of them particularly had like a blurry face, and it just something was off about it. I'm like, nah, that can't be real. And so I ended up doing a reverse image search and came across it on somewhere on Instagram. It's from a video. Absolutely there is footage of this emu taking a bath. That's no question. But I was questioning I was like, is this real? Is it fake?
I came in this morning and Ruben had his cork board with all his string going everywhere.
That was
looked like he hadn't slept in a week.
That was basically it. So the person who sent that one in, massive props. You sent me down a rabbit hole. I was even getting things online. Is this an AI image? And it was coming back 90% AI. I'm like, oh no. that one sent me down a rabbit hole. But yeah, thank you to everyone who sent those in. Love to see it.
Good stuff.
There's also been a couple of images come through even whilst the stream has been on, so I will I'll have to include those for next week. So stay tuned.
We're gonna have to sort that out. This behaviour of not having you being able to freestyle and chuck up images.
It's the people over on Instagram that we're streaming vertical and it won't let me enter a particular mode that I need to whilst also streaming vertically apparently. So
is anyone currently watching on Instagram? Well, we won't know that this is a YouTube chat that we see. How do we know?
There is 2 people currently watching us on Instagram.
There you go.
Do they say anything? Do you have any
questions? Shout out to the 2 people on Instagram.
Do you have any questions, Instagram?
There's a question.
See the questions?
There's a question from before over on Insta. It says, you need to get more Trump silver coins in. Any chance on getting more?
Question answered. There you go. Well done. We don't even need to look at Instagram.
Oh, dear. So yeah, that's a decision.
That's sad. The last comment on there at the Trump shooting, the FBI yelled out Donald Duck.
Oh, jeez. Unreal.
You're obviously a dad. That's a dad joke. If ever heard one. Might use that one tonight over dinner.
Are we still on Spotify as well?
I'm going to be honest. It's been a while since I've uploaded one to
yeah, we're going to be neck and neck with Joe Rogan's podcast.
Also, Google. We were uploading to Google as well, and they've shut down their podcasts recently.
What do you mean?
Google.
Who listens to Google?
Google
what
Podcasts. That's a thing.
Google Podcast. Never heard of it.
It's like MySpace.
Yeah, thing for old timers maybe.
Oh dear.
Sorry if I've offended anyone currently listening to us on Google.
Well, Google Podcast. It's no longer a thing. I think they've moved it over to YouTube. So.
Oh right.
Yeah. I think we need to start wrapping up. We're getting towards
I gave you a lead into the auction.
We haven't even started.
Well, the auction. I was going to question if that was still happening or not because
I don't know. Is it on the stream? Is it on the website?
Hey, have you got some photos? Is a product listing up?
The guys aren't doing one in the website. That was never organised with them. So if we're doing it, we're doing it live.
It was. I said it's got to be on the web.
All conjecture.
Next week.
Yeah, next week. Watch this. Next week will be very organised.
You've just riled everyone up. Now everyone wants an auction, and
well, tune in next week, and we will have an auction for you. I'm not ensuing the chaos that ensues when we do.
Yeah, that'd be a first.
An impromptu auction.
I'm going to hit you with some questions about updates and things, Michael. Someone was asking before what they could do to potentially secure the Bullion Now Bar that we teased earlier. There was a few people saying that they also didn't get to see it, so I am going to quickly throw up that photo again.
What do you mean secure? You don't even know what's on the other side. You might hate it.
They're loyal. They're keen.
Oh, sorry. I missed the question if we were asking a question. What did you say about
You got to listen up, mate.
There's a couple of people asking, how they could make sure that they would be able to get a hold of this one. There was speculation it might be similar to the platinum coins that have sold out very quickly, in which case, it's kind of a luck of the draw kind of a thing, or, are we spilling any of those beans yet, or are we holding off?
The level of organisation people assume that we have. I don't know. I haven't got that.
We'll
I was just stoked that we actually got a design organised. I don't know how we're selling it.
Who knows? Well, you might. Who knows? The other side might say, "I hate bullion." You might not want it. We'll have to wait and see. It's a mystery. No one knows.
Trump and Prince Charles on the other side.
Unreal.
Everyone's going to want one.
Oh, there's a comment I haven't actually checked if this works. There's a comment I need to highlight there from Will Poll. For those that hate the heart at the bottom of the chat, hit the 3-dot hamburger at top and turn off reactions. Because the amount of
Ruben
times
might do that.
I am absolutely going to, because the amount of time that thing gets in the way. There we go. Oh my goodness.
That's a red hot tip.
So yeah, thank you very much for that, because there was a few people talking.
You have to put that as a little scrolly bar on the bottom of the stream periodically.
Yeah, there was a couple of people talking about that kind of getting in the way. So there you go. Thank you very much.
I'm going to clarify something about that bar. My image is not on the other side. It is absolutely
Who's
not.
To say? Anything's possible.
I know what's on the other side of that bar. It is not my image.
Well, it could be a red herring.
This is not.
Yeah. Any updates on Pakenham, Michael, that you're able to talk about or want to talk about? That's another.
The glasses are coming on.
Oh.
Getting
It's all
very
getting serious.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's not happening anymore. Pack it in. It's almost a pun.
no updates.
Last week we were definitely getting an update next week. So next week
Well,
it's possible.
I went round the office yesterday. I'm making double sure. I went round the office yesterday saying we were meant to settle on this property at the end of January. It's been delayed and put off, not by us. We've all been ready for 7 months now for the final settlement on this property. I went round everyone yesterday saying it's locked in for tomorrow, meaning today, Friday. It's locked in for tomorrow. No one can pull out. It's absolutely going to go through. We will have the keys before close of business on Friday. And of course, 8 o'clock last night, I get an email to say it's been pushed off. So again, I don't know what to do here. So no, I don't have a response. We were meant to settle today. I don't have a message to say, hey, congratulations, you've just spent an absolute fortune.
Is this and this is from an inexperienced young chap? Is this common behaviour in the commercial real estate world to just sort of?
I've never had it happen before. Our real estate lawyers never had it happen before.
Yeah.
I had the bank. So our bank account manager who looks after all these things, and she's an absolute genius. She's brilliant. She went on holiday. I had her boss phone me and say, what's the go with this settlement out at Pakenham? Oh, for a second there, I thought we hadn't announced where it was. I just dropped myself in it. Whoops.
If you go back to that frame, you'll probably see a second there where life leaves Michael.
Micro expression of horror for a
little penny drop.
All right, so Pakenham. What's the go with this? And I said, it hasn't sold and blah, blah, blah. He goes, I've been a bank manager for 22 years. I have never, ever in my 22 years seen such an absolute disaster ever in my life.
Wow.
So it's not normal.
Just one of those one in a million kind of setups.
Yeah, and we happened to walk into it.
Yep. How good.
So, yeah, there you go.
That's all right. There's a few people now looking forward to the second half of July interstate store announcement that we promised.
Me
so
too.
You've got you've got a little bit left, but that is.
So there's a second one in a million scenario.
That one is just me being sick and then going for 2 weeks leave, which I really didn't get a holiday. If I'm completely honest,
you need a breather after your break.
Yeah, well, all I did was get 2 weeks further behind in my paperwork.
Yeah.
Don't think anything else came out of that one. Oh, and a busted leg. I didn't actually break my leg. I need to clarify that now I've said it. I just had a slight accident and I lost a lot of skin off one side of my body.
Speaking of, you mentioned that in the Rectangular Dragon video, and now I think people are after some footage of you snowboarding, if it exists.
Ah. Yeah, that could have been a live stream.
Does that exist, and can I show the people?
Video footage of me successfully coming down the slope on a snowboard is about as rare as Yeti footage.
I'm sure a lot of people would want it to be successful, but I'm sure there's some people out there that wouldn't mind if it was, if it was
the
a fail video.
Is what I'm getting out of this.
As in Toy Story, I tried to play it off as falling with style, but it wasn't even that.
Oh dear. I tried.
It was a lot of fun. And it was great up there because the snow, it's actually picked up now. It's been quite good now. I've come back from holiday. The snow wasn't good up there, so everyone stayed away. But it was good enough to snowboard. So it meant that there was no queues at the lifts or anything like that, or going to get a coffee or anything. It was actually really, really good.
So what is not good snow look like? Is it like ice?
Yeah, it'll be icy and it's also patchy. So,
okay.
They'll have closed off certain areas where they can't get it. But the advantage of Mount Hotham, and some of the other mountains have got it as well, is they've got snow guns up there. So if the conditions are right, like if it's a cold, wet night, then they can produce, they call it artificial snow. It's not really artificial. It's not really snow, I suppose, either. But they have the snow guns there. So the main one, up on the mountain is actually pretty good, even when there's no real snow up there. So long as you get those cold, wet evenings.
Yep.
So it's absolutely worth, if you're in the neighbourhood of Mount Hotham, absolutely go up there. It's certainly worth it, even though all the lifts aren't currently open. It's still pretty good. And the snowboarding at night. Oh,
as if it wasn't dangerous enough during the day. Cool.
So it was really good. My kids all get dressed up in penguin costumes as they're snowboarding down, and they actually look good doing it. I don't. But it's a lot of fun.
How did we get so far off Bullion? We still haven't even talked about aviation yet today.
Yeah,
it's been a crazy stream.
Speaking of flying,
since it's been mentioned.
There was a couple of people talking about the upcoming World Fair of Money in the US.
That always cracks me up.
I was going to talk about
very
this.
Clever. Very clever.
I've only ever heard it referred to as ANA, which is the American Numismatic Association. And yeah, it's a big fair over in the US, in Chicago. But that's it. This year is the first year that I've heard it referred to as the World's Fair of Money. And that's it. We go in Berlin at the start of the year to the World Money Fair. And it's like, oh, come on, guys. You couldn't have been a little bit different in the naming of that. But yeah, that's going on. Is there ever any like big changes, announcements, whatever that we should be keeping an eye out for over that time? We're not going, but is there ever anything that we need to keep our ear to the ground for?
Look, the good things about going to the World Money Fair in Germany, the World of Money Fair in that's what it's called, isn't it, Rubes? Have I got that right?
The
ANA.
World's Fair of Money.
Yeah, okay. So the ANA this year it's in Chicago in the US. The advantage of going to those sorts of things is you get to see a lot of the coins that are released like at that point, or quite often, particularly for dealers and that, we get to see a lot of the pre-releases. So we'll go over there and Perth Mint will show us the next 6 months worth of imaginary releases, what they're trying to get released, that's locked up in Treasury. But you get to see a lot of those things. You get to hear a lot of the goss that's coming out of the industry. Different dealers that have come along, or different manufacturers that are trying different techniques and those sorts of things. And they usually have quite good lectures and conferences there of the new techniques they're producing, or the new machinery that they're using, or those types of things. So they, depending on how far down the geeky rabbit hole you want to go, they're actually really, really good to be able to get to those things. And they're probably the main two, the Berlin one and in this case the Chicago one. They are very good. If you're in the neighbourhood and you're able to stop by, I would strongly encourage you to those things.
Germania is doing another bar for that event, and there's a couple of people asking if we're going to be able to get our hands on those ones. It's a bull for Chicago.
Genius.
We should have reached out and asked. I don't know.
The show hasn't happened yet, so no. It could still be possible.
Yeah, we should send a message. Ads, if you're listening, shoot a message over to them, please, and let's see if we can find out if we can get some, because that would be really good.
Aaron saying, Michael, did you finally get to see the coin I dropped off for you, or is it hidden away in a back room somewhere?
I still haven't seen it. Ta-da! It's behind camera.
It's literally sitting in front of him. He's telling fibs.
So I have finally seen it. And it looks cool. Very cool.
Yeah, you two need to have a discussion about that one and sort that out.
It's already been sorted.
Oh, has it?
A month ago.
Okay, awesome.
I'm paying for a coin that I've never seen before. I don't even really know if it exists.
Well, it does now.
I'm just going by rumour.
Question for you there, Matt, from Goat. Curious to know if there was much of a bullion presence at the Perth Mint. Sorry, not the Perth Mint. At the Perth Anda show Matt attended last week.
Nah, yeah, well, if rumours are to be believed.
Yeah, whoops.
Yeah, well done. Not a tremendous amount. If you dig around at, any of those coin fairs and things like that, you're bound to find a few little bibs and bobs, but it is predominantly of the numismatic variety. So, all sorts of...
The dark side.
Yeah, my dream. So I was swanning about the room, having the time of my life. And I said to Ruben, I'll try and get some videos and stuff. Every time I do these things, I make all these promises, sort of like us on stream. I say, I'll do this, I'll do that. I even said, we'll organise a live cross. But I said to Ruben on the setup day, yeah, it's a Friday, so we'll work out a live cross. All the gear was meant to get delivered at 9 a.m. and I messaged Ruben at 1 p.m. and said the truck has just turned up now with everything. So I need to.
So you mean you have 4 hours of nothing?
4 hours twiddling my thumbs.
You could have done something for us.
I could have, but I was busy stressing out. Got the mints turning up saying, why is there an empty hall? Isn't there meant to be an event getting set up here? I'm saying, I promise you, at some point, I believe, sort of like your settlement. I was like, I believe that there will be a delivery. As for the timing, we'll wait and see. But got there in the end. But yeah, I love event management.
You should see Matt at these things. He swans around. Primp as a prima donna.
Yeah, not looking like I'm not stressed out of my mind.
T's saying there's a bit of a major technology outage worldwide at the moment, and Ozdude's saying that both their banking apps are having troubles at the moment.
Oh, really?
That's going to be the excuse of why we didn't settle on Pakenham.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it was an outage.
It was a tech outage. We need to move into our, rapid fire questions for the stream.
We still haven't talked about Sidley.
We haven't.
Barely even started the stream.
Yeah,
all right.
Mate, you're slipping.
Go on. Let's make it a long one.
Don't know. We're wandering up to Sydney. Give us a date, Rubes.
How could anyone not know about Sydney at this stage?
Well, they do, but I've got a really...
Yeah, 100%. Is there any news?
Yeah, there is. Not on your favourite DJ.
Find out whether or not Daft Punk are going to be there.
They keep saying, it says on there Australia's #1 DJ, and I want to know if it's some really big name or if it's just someone with an iPad who's calling themselves Australia's #1 DJ.
Yeah, maybe they're just really tall.
So when are we up there? Give me the dates.
The dates are the 26th of August to the 28th.
Okay. Give us a link up there as well if you've got it for tickets, because this is the big announcement. We've actually almost sold out of tickets for the Monday night.
Already.
So
don't sit on it. Don't wait around saying, we'll wait until the day of or the day before.
Yeah. I was. I'm a little concerned because we've actually sold more than the fire. What do you call it? The fire restrictions allow us.
Why are you saying this stuff? Why are you saying this stuff? We're already on shaky ground after... Was it last year or the year before?
Year before.
Yeah, we're just starting to recover our reputation for being, straight shooters.
Yeah, so I have a feeling... I'm not trying to put the wind up anyone. I have a feeling that if you don't grab your tickets soon, that someone is going to jump up and down and say, well, we can't sell anymore. We're groaning at the seams.
Yeah, you have to listen from the hallway.
Yeah. So, look, grab your tickets. I think Rubes has just stuck the tickets up.
The tickets the first two on that listing, which are listed as free, is for the Eureka event, which is what they're calling the educational evening.
Oh, there you go. It's pretty sad we sponsor it and I don't even know what it's called. So the Monday night is free for everyone but me. For me, it's incredibly expensive, but that's okay. We've sponsored that evening. So if you're in the neighbourhood, you can't just lob along. You've got to get a ticket. So make sure you grab yourself a ticket and come along if you can, and you will not be disappointed. Money back guarantee on that one.
Here's some information. You need to register there's a post event. Did you know about this?
Yeah, so it's split into two. There's the first 2 hours are the talking side, and then there's
5 till 7 p.m.
Essentially the after party is the second.
We need to explain this. I didn't know this.
You know there's an after party.
Well, now I do. There's an after party, everyone. Listen up. So 5 till 7 is the educational evening, and then the disco ball will come down from the ceiling.
The drinks start coming out.
Yeah, the drinks and the DJ. I'll have a big Monday night, from 7 p.m. till 10 p.m. But you must register to attend the post-education party.
Yeah.
So you need to get educated first, and then you can blow the roof off the joint.
Yeah. So look, it's going to be a lot of fun, but it's also going to be very educational. So whether you're just starting out, whether you've got quite a lot of experience, come along. You will find someone to answer your questions. We've got half a dozen of us up the front. I think it's four or five of us up the front. And we cover a whole gamut of different areas in bullion investing, whether it be physical stuff like us, whether it be paper, whether it be investing directly into mines, all that type of stuff. You will have someone there that will be able to answer the question. It's all free for the public coming along. You've also got 2 days of conference after that. Now, you need a ticket for those 2 days. The ticket for those 2 days is not free, but the tickets aren't linked. If you just want to come along for the Monday night, then it's free. If you just want to come along for the Tuesday, Wednesday, you grab a different ticket, and that will cost you an amount of money. I can't tell you how much. But it's going to be really good, and I really strongly suggest you get there. And by the sounds of it, if they cut off tickets fairly soon, you need to get in sooner rather than later to grab your ticket. I touched base with Perth Mint this week about the Lunar release is the other one I wanted to touch on.
Yeah, there was an event potentially happening with that we're excited about.
Well, the event is happening. The problem we have is the date it's happening.
Oh.
So they still... it is so... They don't know what date they're releasing yet, is the problem.
Well, you tell them what date.
I've got them nailed down to the middle of September. Probably.
Sort of.
So, for those that aren't in the know on this one, we are trying to tee up in conjunction with the Perth Mint a release day party. I don't know, what would you call it?
Launch party. Yeah.
Launch party for the Lunar Snake this year.
Launch experience.
We're going to have Matt's going to be there in his snake costume, handling a snake. Big boa constrictor thing. I'm going to be there with a shovel, trying not to get near the snake because I don't like them. So it's going to be good. We're going to try and organise some backstage tours of the Perth Mint. Hopefully you'll have the designer of the coin there. All these types of things we're trying to get organised. Middle of September. If you can get over there, again, we'll give you as much notice as we possibly can. But assuming it all comes off, middle of September, again, that'll be a good one to get to, and you'll be able to purchase. I'm committing Perth Mint here, even though, like I said, I hold no sway over there. I'm committing them to having them available to you to purchase on the spot. So you'll be one of the first in the world to actually be able to purchase yourself a Lunar Snake.
That's a big assurance you give on their behalf.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah, fingers and toes crossed.
Probably when Neil listens to this later, he'll be going, what the?
Yeah, phone's going to be ringing by the end of the stream.
That mongrel over there in Victoria shouldn't let him off the leash.
Yeah.
Metal Inquisitor there saying, Perth Mint says we'll confirm the date once BN confirms the Pakenham store.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, well, it's probably a close run thing, actually, if I'm honest. Yeah. All right, now you can do your 50 questions in 13 seconds.
It's not my rapid fire questions. You're the one that gets to choose the number of questions and the amount of time we get.
So if you've got a question that we haven't answered, if you've got a burning question that you'd like to ask, throw it up now. Ruben will read them out, and Matt and I will try and answer them in under 5 minutes.
Per question.
Per question.
Oh yeah, there was one last week, and you just went on forever. And I'm like, come on, Michael. I need to hold up a little sign that says, rapid fire or something.
Yeah, a little shot clock.
Modified stacker. Any more Trump coins likely?
Yes.
We've we launched some. They're on the website right now.
They're up for pre-sale.
Yes, they are pre-sale. Estimated 4 weeks, so a little bit longer than we typically have it, but they are available for purchase now. Link is there. What's the coin on the table? We can't talk about it because that was going to be for the auction, and we're now having to hold that back for next week.
On this coin behind
they have.
Oh, they have.
There was Jason. I think it was Jason saw it first and commented on it, and a couple of people went, "Oh, hang on a minute." So yeah, that was pretty good.
Tudor Dragon is on its way. I'm not sure we don't have them. I think they might have even arrived, but we've certainly ordered them and got tracking numbers for them, and I've approved pricing on it.
5-ounce turtles anytime soon.
That'd be nice.
I'd love to get some of those.
Yeah.
They're hard. No, the short answer's not in the short term.
Can I use unallocated for payment at Sydney? They noticed that Con had his laptop there last year.
Oh, I'm going to really annoy Con here and say
he'll
yes.
definitely do it. No stress.
Piece of cake. No stress at all.
What do you expect gold to do if Biden is out?
I think it will kick upwards initially, and then it'll stabilise.
Non-financial advice. Are we going to do a Brisbane tour?
Don't know.
Probably should. We need to do... You know where we need to go, and it's such an obvious one. We need to go to the Gold Coast. Do a movie world. Do a live stream from the Superman Express.
Matt.
Yeah, imagine that.
Just a photo of us all looking sad on the beach of the Gold Coast because there's no actual gold. Yeah.
Yeah. Do some
right.
prospecting.
Rapid fire.
Rapid. Yeah, sorry.
It's not me off track.
Michael, was the
shocker.
2024 Perth Mint Platinum 125th anniversary coin 1 ounce popular? I'm surprised it hasn't sold out.
It was never going to be instantaneous sellout, but it's been very popular and they are close to a sellout.
Any Valcambi Platinum Minted Bar?
Yes.
Any thoughts on individual account numbers for customers to allow unallocated payments over time easily?
I don't understand the question.
Yeah, me neither.
What's on an individual account number?
I think to like, you know,
So you can just kick in $50 a week.
and it will go to their unallocated account.
Yeah, I've tried a couple of times to get this organised. Doesn't seem to work. Yes, it will come. It just won't come in the shorter term.
Are we able to look into getting any of those 1/10 golds, blue dragons that we spoke about earlier on stream?
That's more an LCS than a BN thing. I'll talk to the little coin shop and see what they can do.
Has Royal Mint released a statement regarding their milk spotting yet?
Not that I'm aware of. They haven't even admitted to it
Yeah,
yet.
just a no comment.
Little tease of something in the works. One of the people who has had issues and been quite vocal about it online. It sounds like we might be trying to tee up a bit of an interview with them at some stage. So stay
that
tuned for that.
Ooh.
Do you want me to tell people? I can.
Is it a surprise?
I think most people will guess. We're Backyard Bullion.
Yeah.
We're
we're
going to try and have a chat with him at some stage. So stay tuned for that. We just need to sort out the time zones and when it's actually going to happen. But no, keen for that chat. Will LCS be getting any 2024 Swan pattern dollar proof medallions?
No, I think that's more your area, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit of that. It was my buddy Scott who owns the Australian Coin Review for their 50th anniversary. So it was the old 1967 Swan dollar that they're reissuing. Interestingly, it's a medallion, not a coin. Yeah, so it was a bit
Just adds another word into the title.
Yeah,
Swan
pretty
pattern
much.
dollar proof medallion,
In case it
reverse
wasn't
proof
they
high,
should reverse gild it
yeah.
with some...
Is it a medallion or a round?
Way.
All right, rapid fire.
Next question. That was Michael. He was trying to get me down the rabbit hole. I'm getting set up.
Why do I see headlines of possible increases in interest rates when people are struggling?
Because, really, I can't do this
Quick
in
rapid fire.
Because. Ask me next week when we've got time to
At the
answer
start
that
of the
one.
stream. That'll be the theme for the
Yeah,
whole
I actually
stream.
think they did ask that one earlier, so apologies we missed that one because, yeah, that is a deep dive topic. Brett says, does Bullion now do Bullion swaps?
Yes.
What is more likely, emu or kookaburra in a bird bath?
Well, kookaburras are common. It's very
But they're
common.
not yeah, but you
All
don't
the
see them
time.
in bird baths.
All the time.
What's the
next?
difference?
There's a guy who lives in Melbourne who's never seen a kookaburra in his life.
What's the difference between a round and a medallion?
Because...
One's a round and one's a medallion.
yeah.
It's in the title.
Michael, you're going to have to answer this one because you're the one that uses them. How are we off for knife blades on those knives that SDI customers sent for us? Are they still sharp and cutting, or are you?
Yeah, I think we're okay at the moment. Haven't you got a few spares that I haven't busted or gone through yet?
I mean, it depends on which knife which
No,
knives
but-
we start to pull out.
Here's
There's
the
two
green
there.
one.
There's two there.
I think we're still okay. Running low on Choc Sultanas though.
A bit of a catastrophe.
Gary says, will you guys be getting in the Ram Silver Dolphins?
I think I put the kibosh on that one, so I think the answer's no.
What's my email address? You can send it through to ruben@bullionnow.com.au. I'll put that link in chat, or just send them through to live at Bullion Now.
Yeah, you're better off sending it to live.
But yeah.
I've seen how often Ruben checks his email.
Jeez, under the bus.
But yeah. No, it's more just to be able to put down so that people can know how to spell my name, because is Ruben AI.
Some days.
Yeah, it's possible.
I think that's the bottom of the list. We've kicked on a little bit longer than normal on this stream, so
Yeah.
I'm calling that the end there.
Yeah, I think it should be. Because I need to go and find out if we bought Pakenham or not.
Yeah, so drive over, see if there's a sold sign.
Yeah, that's right. All right, thanks everyone for tuning in on another fantastic Friday. It's been great.
Yeah.
It's a great thing to lead into the weekend. You got a busy weekend there, Matt?
Always. Rarely
Always.
a dull moment. Yeah.
Good to hear. How about you, Rubes?
Busy weekend planned. Going to a trivia night this weekend, so
Wild
cool.
night.
Yeah.
So I hope your weekend is astronomical as well, and it's a lot of fun. I'm actually going to go and sun myself down the beach this weekend, believe it or not.
freezing
I
cold.
love
here.
a good cold,
Yeah.
stormy day at the beach. I'm weird like that. So anyway, right off topic yet again. I'm trying to say goodbye here. So thank you very, very much for tuning in. We will be back next week, same time, same channel. And I hope you have a very safe and enjoyable weekend and that you're back on fire buying bullion next week. We will see you very soon.
See ya.
So yeah.